Hello and welcome back to the shop. Tools to make repeatable miter saw type cuts in metal are fairly expensive. The low end is still around $300 or $400 for a small bandsaw or metal cutting miter saw or portaband chop setup. So I've been kicking around an idea for a while for a relatively cheap project that could give some of this capability to someone who just has a Sawzall in a way that wouldn't permanently mount that Sawzall to the setup they build so that it could still be used for other things. And since a Sawzall is a common tool, even for fairly casual DIY types, this would make it really pretty broadly accessible. And I thought it might be useful for a lot of people who can't quite justify the expense of a dedicated tool, but still occasionally want to make repeatable cuts in metal. I had floated a concept out earlier this year and got a lot of what I would say politely skeptical feedback, mostly centered around vibration issues. So I kind of let the concept simmer in the background and played around with it occasionally when I felt inclined, and really didn't decide to take any action on it until I hit on the idea of using a vise that is anchored to a heavy work table, both to clamp the workpiece that you're going to cut and also to anchor the apparatus itself. So that's a thing that I can count on there being in most shops. Again, even most fairly casual shops have that vise mounted to a heavy bench. And if I can rely on that to anchor the workpiece and the apparatus that I'm building to guide the saw, then I thought I could take care of those vibration issues that people were concerned about. And the other thing I had to work out was, am I designing something that's going to be a finished product, either made by me or licensed to someone else, or would this be a kit, or is it a plan that you buy, so a high quality, really perfected plan that I could justify charging some money for, or is it just a free plan where the bar is a little lower on the rigor that goes into it, but hey, it's free, so you can have your money back if you're not happy. I'm still not really sure. It's probably not either of the first two. It's not a finished product and it's not a kit. It's somewhere between a really perfected plan that you would purchase and a free plan. So it's somewhere in there. I've got other issues to work out, as you'll see later on. The end result was sort of a partial success. I didn't make it beefy enough. We'll get to that later on, but it wasn't a total failure. With a little bit of shoring up with some clamps and supports and things, I was able to get it to perform in a way that definitely is better than nothing. So although what the exact design that I'm building here didn't work out and wouldn't be something that I would recommend anyone build, I was good enough to prove that, hey, this concept could be made to work. Also, as you see here, one of the pieces required a hole drilled in a short but tall piece, and since the new MagSwitch Drill Press Fence Pro version can just move over a bit, I can have a tall fence close to the bit when that's what I need. Now, quite a few people have posted videos about this fence since my last video, and I'm going to put links to all of those videos in this video description. So check those out and use the discount codes that those channels give to get a great deal and also support those guys, because I certainly appreciate their help getting the word out. Alright, enough yakking. Let's play some tunes and get this thing finished. Yeah, no, Andy, that little support is not going to save you from the fact that you did not make this thing sturdy enough. I had actually meant to make this base that I'm drilling into and screwing into right now out of 3/4 inch material. I didn't have any, so I went with 1/2 inch. But quite honestly, just stepping up to 3/4 wouldn't have been enough. Look how that's lifting up. So I had to throw an extra clamp on the back. It's still a little bit too loose, but not so bad that it can't actually make a pretty decent cut. So it's close. Maybe double stacked, 2 layers of 3/4 inch plywood would get me there. I'd like to stay away from like saying make the base out of or any component out of metal, just because this is clearly being made by someone who doesn't have access to a lot of metal cutting tools. So it's kind of silly to be telling them to fabricate something out of metal. So I need to find a way to do it out of plywood. I think I can do that. Um, and, even with just a little bit extra support, that's not a bad miter cut. So if you like this concept, leave me a comment. Let me know if you want me to beef up this design and get a plan out there. Thanks a lot. Catch you next time.